welcome back to 4 Geeks by Geeks, the place where geeks come to geek out. As always, I am Boser, and this is your Monday night Geek Out Sesh. You guys, thank you for being here. I am so excited. This is the final Geek Out Sesh of the year. We are going to be taking a couple breaks off for the holidays, and we'll rejoin. Actually, the next time we'll be live will be our 12-hour D&D live stream on January 2nd, so make sure you tune in for that. But I'm really excited, as always, because this whole show is just for me, and I don't care if anybody watches. I get to talk to great people and hang out. Thank you, Alec. Thanks for loving the hair. This is just what happens when you take a curly mop and straighten it with a blow dryer. And you're asking me did I like the session? He's talking about his Scooby-Doo one-shot that he wrote himself. And I'm still about halfway through, Alec. It's about a 5-hour-long session, you guys, and I'm about halfway through. But I'm loving it so far. It seems like all of you had such a great time, and that's what matters. So I love that. But I gotta know, I need you to hit the command QOTD for the question of the day, which is, how did you crit fail this week? So I want to hear from you. I'm going to share mine, but in just a few minutes when we bring in our guest for the evening from Unnatural 20's, which is an amazing podcast that I've actually been following for quite some time. And I can't wait to kind of gush about it to my guest. But I'm going to ask her what her crit fail was this week. So I'm hoping she's got an answer in the wings. But I got to know, what's yours? Mine, I did one of those classic foot and mouth situations where it's a buddy's birthday coming up, and there was, I don't know, like a month ago, there was a group chat with his wife and all of our friends asking if we're going to be available this coming date. And we're like, yeah, we'll be there. And then I was in a separate group chat this week with his wife and him, and he's like, hey, can't wait to see you, hope we can hang out soon. And I was like, aren't we still seeing each other this coming date? And then my wife's like, bro, he wasn't in that chat. And I felt so horrible. I thought I ruined everything. Thankfully, his wife can't keep a surprise for her life, so he already knew about it, so it's all good. But I felt for about a half hour my stomach was in knots. Alec, you should be past that part, so no spoils. Oh wait, everyone avoided my traps in Scooby-Doo D&D. Oh, okay, sorry, I'm catching up. But if you are new, thanks for tuning in, whether you're tuning in live here on Twitch or afterward on YouTube. This is our FGBG Geek Out Sesh, where we geek out with a brand new guest each and every Monday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard here on Twitch, and you can watch it afterward on the VOD on Twitch or on YouTube. And we just geek out. I learn all about what makes them tick, and I get to ask all these great questions that I want to ask of these great creators and these great geeks. And then we do some ridiculous game at the end just to make the internet a better place to be. And I'm really kind of excited for tonight, especially because the game we're going to play is kind of a short and compact version of what my guest does every week on her podcast. So I get to pretend that I'm part of Unnatural 20's for a night, which has just been my dream. So keep using that command QOTD, and as you found, Alec, you have command Unnat20, which can take you straight to their link, and you can find out where their podcast plays, and you can find the nearest one and your favorite, so you can start binging this, because as we're going to learn, she's been making this content for quite some time, and I'm tired of keeping her in the wings. I want to talk to her. I've been waiting for years, so I'm not chatting anymore. I'm here for my guest. So I need everybody, give it up, please. I want to see some emojis, some fire, some applause. Give it up for my guest tonight, Katelynn from Unnatural 20's.
Hey everyone! Oh my god. So everyone's talking about their fails, and I'm over here. Yeah. Yours is like eating me, because I feel like I've been in the same situation.
Oh,
you just don't know. Just sometimes it just happens. You just get so excited about something and you want to share with your friends and don't realize, Oh, it's a surprise.
And I'm so bad at remembering who knows what, who knows. Like, don't tell me any secrets because it's going to come out to somebody at some point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I got a big mouth. It happens to me all the time.
Oop, Alec thinks you're pretty already, so we're starting off
thanks,
strong.
Alec.
Alec thinks everybody's pretty, and he thinks like everyone's beautiful. Not to downplay yours, not to downplay you in any way, but he's just
Alec,
like ready to gas
you're
up
pretty.
everybody. He is.
Alec is pretty.
He's pretty. So what's your crit fail for the week, Katelynn?
Oh, God. Okay, so it happened today, actually. So I was working from home today, and I was extra comfy because as working from home, you don't have to see your coworkers, so you don't have to dress up, which is super cool. But one downside is when you get comfy, you put on really good socks, and you forget that you have hardwood floor in your house. So I may have done like a little Scooby-Doo thing, but it was in like the most inconvenient time because I was late for a Zoom meeting that I had with a very important person, and I was like slipping all over the floor in my socks, and I did fall, and I was late, and then now I was frazzled going into my Zoom meeting. So my fail is that I got too comfy for work.
Is there such a thing? Like, this whole pandemic has taught us that there's no such thing as being too comfy for work.
You would think. I think you have to draw the line at fuzzy socks because then you got to get slippers on. If you know you're going to be walking, get some good slippies, and that way you can get some grippies. Oh, or grip socks.
Grip socks. Like, do you have a Sky Zone out by you?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Some Sky Zone socks?
Yes, I have those. I paid like $2 for those.
Yes. That's where I celebrated, I think, my 27th birthday was at Sky Zone. Had a great time. And I still have the
I think my 25th was there. It was great.
See, but we got to go back a little bit because somehow I knew that you and I would vibe really well because I've been listening to your podcast for a while. I have merch. I have a dice bag. And I am one of the proud. Oh, she's got ours. Like, this is we just support. But I'm one of the proud and the few of the Jean Jacket crew.
Yeah.
Hey!
Jean Jacket fam.
I'm so proud of this jacket. I wear it all the time, and I get so many compliments on it.
It's seriously the coolest jacket. And, like, everyone should have one because it's just cool. And then I also get so many compliments on it. It's like, yeah, it's my podcast too, by the way.
And I had to tell so many people, by the way, hi, John. Thanks for tuning in. I'm still got some Christmas shopping to do, so I don't know if yours is last minute or mine. But
Same. Haven't
see,
done
I knew
much.
it. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
You're a procrastinator like me.
Yes!
But I felt bad because you can only earn the jean jacket. How? How do they do it, Katelynn?
You have to go to our Patreon. And on our Patreon, if you go patreon.com/unnatural20s, there is a tier called Jean Jacket Fam. And if you join the Jean Jacket Fam, we will send you your jean jacket. And then there's a couple other things that you get on there as well for being part of the fam. So it's an exclusive crew. There's not many there. So if you join, you're going to be one just like Boser, myself, and my two other hosts, Books and Cassie as well.
Oh yeah, I got so proud. And then I got the shout out on your podcast and I recorded that and showed everyone. So I just dropped the link, which I think works. And also you can use command unnat20 and you can take it straight to everywhere you can find the podcast. But you know what? I'm going to gush in a minute. First, I need people to know if they've never heard of Unnatural 20's, what is it? What is your podcast about?
So we leave the fate of each episode up to the rolls of D20. That is our tagline. And basically what that means is we have a list of 20 talking points. So 20 different things that we talk about each week. But we don't talk about all of them because we roll this little guy, D20, and we find out on that adventure log which one we're going to roll. So sometimes we roll a 5, sometimes a 10. 10 is follower question. 18 is what do we love. We also have Geek Out Update. There's just so many different roles. So every episode's a little bit different because none of us, I think everyone would get bored. All of the girls in the podcast, we'd all get bored if we did the same thing every week. We have to switch it up, change it up, and we switch it up for you guys too.
I mean, you're better people that you can stick with the same people every week. Like, I have to switch out my guests. Otherwise, you're just going to get old hat to me.
We've only had, I think, 8 guests in like 210 episodes.
210 episodes, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's respect. I respect the hell out of that.
It's a lot. You say it, and it's like, wow, we've been doing this for a bit now.
So how did this whole thing get started? Alec rolled, if you use Command D20, it just rolls a D20. It always has. So what's an 18? If he rolled an 18 on an episode, what would that be?
18 is what do you love? So you basically just talk about just something that you love, like a little small thing. Like one of them was, I love fuzzy socks, except on hardwood floor. Or I love my dogs. Just a simple like joy in life. Because it's always good to reflect on that stuff.
There you go. Alec loves Boser.
You love Boser.
Alec's been with us from the beginning. He's hardcore. He's hardcore love.
We love Alec over here.
So 210 episodes. Yeah. About how long have you been making this podcast?
So we just had our 4-year anniversary of our podcast. So we've been doing it a bit.
Do you know what? I'm going to Google something really quick. I try not to Google things online. I want to know average lifespan of a podcast.
Oh, probably like 10 episodes. Because you realize like 3 going in, it's like, okay, this is a little bit more than I expected. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, I'm running out of content. But our show was so complicated in the design that we were like, this will never die. We will not let this die.
And I mean, but that is quite the testament. Like, even in our FGBG, whatever this is, it's shifted so many times. Like, we make videos, and then we do interviews, and then we make skits, and then we do D&D, and now we're on Twitch because, I don't know, we get bored. But I found that it said that the average lifespan of a podcast is 174 days before it dies an inevitable audio death.
Oh, R.I.P. F in the chat for the dead pods.
God, yeah. F in the chat for that. It said as of January 2020, there are 850,000 active podcasts and more than 30 million podcast episodes.
Wow.
God damn.
And I have 210 of those.
Hell yeah, you do. But that's, I'm not good at math. Like a high percentage above the others.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So what is it? Why do you think that, I mean, ever since the pandemic happened, like everyone went online, and I think that number's probably skyrocketed, but you started before that. Like, when was 4 years ago? What was the first date? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. Well, we wanted to do a podcast for a while, and it was because one of our friends, Cassie, who is on the podcast as well, she was huge into podcasts. I had never listened to really any podcast at all. And then she got me into the Adventure Zone and the McElroys. And then I had ventured off into my own little podcast listening and got super obsessed listening to like at least 14 different podcasts a week. And so then we were like, we can do this. We can do this too. We went to WonderCon in Anaheim and we watched a live podcast, and these people blew it. Like, it was bad. It was like not good. And we were like, okay.
How did they blow it?
Well, they were a bunch of people who had like wealthy parents and like in the industry. So they had a big podcast, and we were like watching, super excited to see a podcast live, and it just wasn't good. So we were like, you know what? If they can do it and they can have as much of a following as they have, we can do this too. And we can do it better too. So that was the spite kind of got us to do it. And also just like loving podcasts. So then we sat down at a bar for a couple weeks, Cassie and I, and we like drew out the episode, like what we wanted each episode to be, kind of figured it out, role played it a bit. And that's how our podcast was born. We did our first podcast episode in November on her birthday, November 13th in Big Bear, California, and in a cabin. And it was fun. It was hard. It was harder than we thought. And then it's much better now. 4 years later, I'm loving it. It just took a while to get used to it. But man,
you get to learn. Like, you have to have that learning curve. You're not going to know everything off the bat.
Yeah. So, but all I say, our podcast was born out of spite. So
I do remember listening back to that first episode, and I think I remember it being out of California.
Yeah.
Or out of a cabin. Like, you guys mentioned that. right?
Oh yeah, I think the first 3 episodes we recorded back to back, which never do that. Never record like 6 episodes worth of, or 6 hours worth of podcasts in a row, because you kind of lose it after a point. But we learned that really quickly. But yeah, we did it in a cabin. We talked about being in a cabin in the woods and just getting away from everyone in order to get this all done. And I mean, it was a way to start, and it was a quick learning curve.
But that's really interesting that you say don't do like a whole batch record, because I've had people on the show and that's exactly what they suggest.
Oh, well, I mean, not the first episode, because you want to hear your first episode if you've never podcasted before.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, now I have the jitters out. I know what I'm saying. I don't have to just word vomit all over the place. I can actually like enunciate my words.
So you can listen to yourself back and realize that you're a mumbling mess.
Oh my God, I don't ever want to listen to that first episode again. My friend played it the other day and I was like, oh, because I just talked about pooping and farting the whole time. And it's like, we could have gotten some better content in there.
And that's how I knew. I'm like, man, Katelynn she's my vibe. I can hang out. Because I gotta be honest. So your podcast was born out of spite.
Yes.
In a small way, FGBG was born out of the Unnatural 20's.
Oh!
Like no way.
Have you seen Trolls 2?
I haven't seen the second one.
There's a moment where a troll gets born out of a troll's hair, and I feel like you're like Tiny Diamond to us then.
Yeah.
Tiny Diamond is the coolest, by the way. I love Tiny Diamond.
Okay.
If you don't know Trolls, it's weird, but
well, I know Guy
Tiny
Diamond. So is Tiny Diamond the smaller version of Guy Diamond?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and he raps really cool. So.
Oh yeah, everything he says is cool. I'm proud to be Tiny Guy Diamond.
Tiny Diamond.
But when we first were looking at starting 4 Geeks by Geeks, like I don't think we barely even had a name. We just wanted to do a podcast. This was meant to be a podcast at first, and we just wanted to geek out, and we would be random. And so I was like, we were both the original founder PK and I were just going through a bunch of podcasts and just like listening and finding content we like. And I stopped him. I was like, dude, I found something I really like. Like there's 3 girls, they roll the die, they answer questions, and they're hilarious. And it's not planned, and they're just themselves. And like, that's the vibe I want for our channel. That's what I want to do. And so I've always kept you with me.
Yes, thank you. Well, that's huge. Well, I'm glad that yours isn't born out of spite then. but no, that's like huge. That like I think about that often, because you told that to I think me before, and I was like, that's crazy. I can't believe we like helped inspire something. That's like the coolest thing ever.
And it's even cooler to me because like I remember listening and I'm like, oh my God, those girls would be so much fun to hang out with. And I get to! Look at this! We're doing it! Like, this is the sole reason that I want to do what we're doing. It's just because I want to see somebody, love their content, and be like, I want to hang out with them. And then I get to.
It's legit. Amazing. It's legit, dude.
Like, my heart is just, it's been racing all week because I knew that this moment was coming.
I've been so excited. So we've had like 3 Twitch channels and I keep forgetting the password. So I refollowed your Twitch channel last week, and I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen any of your content in a bit. Like I saw like your Instagram and like a long time ago some stuff. And now I was like, oh my, yeah. Well, and now it's like what you guys are at right now. This is incredible. This like production, everything you have, like you're doing amazing, and I'm so happy to see where you're at, because I think the last time we spoke was like 2 years ago or something.
Oh my God. And it was nothing.
It was just podcasts back then.
Well, our podcast lasted probably about 2 episodes. And then during the first episode, we were just like, you know what? Let's record it on video too, just in case we could use it to make some content. And very quickly we realized the stuff that we wanted to do needed to be seen. And so it became a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah. And we did Geek Out Seshes just right here in my basement on a couch. We had somebody come to my basement. Some were complete strangers, and yet they came to my basement.
Yeah, come to my basement. It'll be totally cool. We're just totally geeking out.
But I think I have a trusting face or something. People tend to believe me, and then they came, and that was so much fun. But then, you know, pandemic hit, and then part of us like moved away to different places, so we had to find a way to do it from remote, and Twitch just made the most sense. So I've loved it ever since.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here on Twitch.
I am loving it. And Alec, Boser, I'm still not 21. Can I come into your basement? Wait, one more year, bud, and then we'll talk. Of course, I feel like you would never leave if I'd let you move in here. So you've been doing this for 4 years, which is a huge testament. Talking of how things have gotten better, how do you feel like the Unnatural 20's has evolved from that first episode?
So, just content-wise, you hear your first episode and you're like, okay, this is cringe. I don't want to hear this anymore. Let's like delve into different content. Like maybe let's experiment. And then we got into getting podcast friends. And so our podcast friends, like, we're all excited about different, like, nerding out on different things, like movies. Like, we have friends who's like really into movies. So we got into some older movies that we'd never watched before. Some of our friends are super into Marvel, which I am too, but they like knew a different facet than I did, or comics like more than I did too. So just getting more friends who were just super nerdy after starting the podcast, it was like, okay, I know I'm a nerd, but you're a nerd too, and you're going to give me some of your nerd. And it was, so getting nerd friends was it. And then also software, like learning new software and updating everything. Because we started off in GarageBand, and now Audacity, and now we're in Reaper for our podcasting like equipment.
See, that's so advanced. You lost me at Audacity.
I don't know many other podcasts that record on Reaper. But yeah, we record on Reaper now. And then going to PodCon, 2-3 years ago, we got to sit into a panel with Griffin McElroy, and he was like explaining some of the things that he does, and it's like, oh well, all this makes sense. So then we took that information and tried to apply that to our podcast too. So just listening, learning always. It's just trying to evolve the podcast and make it better for everyone listening wise. And just being wild. Continuing.
As you saw in the pictures at the beginning, if you were here for this stream, one of my favorite photos of you, Katelynn, is in giant chunky boy D20.
Yeah.
And I think that's what first caught my attention when I was listening to your podcast. I found it on accident, and then I went to your Instagram, and I think that was maybe the first time that you'd been to WonderCon in Chonky Boy.
Yes.
And I was like, these girls are so fun. They're wild. They're just wandering around and getting like bombing every photo in this giant D20.
Yeah. So our Chunky Boy it was a giant D20. I wore it on my body, and we actually made that. It took forever. Can we cuss?
Yeah.
Okay, it took fucking forever. It took so fucking long to make that, and it was so hard. We got in trouble by our apartment place because like they called it like trash. They're like, get the trash out of like your balcony, and I was like, no, that is our hard way.
That's our child.
That is our child. That is our Chunky Boy. He's not blue yet, but he will be one day. So yeah, we made this big blue dice, and I wore it at cons, and it hurt so bad.
What's it made of?
It was made out of like PVC pipe, some cardboard, like some really. It was thicker than I wanted it to be cardboard, and zip ties, some L brackets, and we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to make it, then actually made it. We made like a prototype first. It was crazy, the whole construction of it. But then once we made it, we got some Heelys and we're rolling around conventions, and I was a rolling dice. So it was a lot of fun.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That's funny. I just love it. Like, I just love that you're wilding out, you're there to be seen, and you're just there to make chaos in life.
Oh yeah, no, that was the fun part, because walking around a con, I mean, back in the day, there was a lot of people close together. So when you're walking through an aisle as a big, giant T20, it's like, oh, sorry, excuse me. And then rolling outside, it's like trying not to hit anyone while you're a big, giant rolling bowling ball, basically. Yeah. It's pretty fun. Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah.
I understand he's no longer with us.
Yes. Our big chunky boy did pass. He went to 4 cons, I believe, and my back couldn't take it anymore. We had to move, and we were moving into a smaller apartment, so we didn't have a garage to keep him in. So R.I.P. Chunky Boy, he did get thrown in the trash.
Let's get some F's in the chat for Chunky Boy.
F in the chat for Chunky Boy. Never forget, we made a montage video of his creation, his excitement, and then his demise in the trash as well. So.
And I watched every moment of that.
Oh God, I cried.
Did you really?
No, I didn't, because it hurt so bad. It hurt me so bad.
You probably burned it. You're like, let me be the first to light the
We're like, we're moving. We don't have room for this. It's like, good. But I do miss him now.
Yeah, you never know what you have until you lose it.
That's the truth.
Let that be all lessons to those with chunky boys at home. So what would you say for those like just thinking about starting a podcast? Because like you said, you first saw a bad podcast live at WonderCon. You thought we could do that. But you've kept it going for 210 episodes, 4 years. So like, what is the thing that keeps it going? Like, what do you love most about podcasting?
There are so many things I love about podcasting. I think the best part of it is I get to hang out with my friends every week. So we used to have it where I live with Cassie, which is one of the hosts. Mm-hmm. And we've lived together for 10 years, which is wild in itself. Wow. And then Books, who's the other host, we used to live together. We don't live together anymore. It used to be so easy just to sit down at the kitchen table and then just talk for our podcast and go through it. Now it's a great opportunity to sit down and catch up with your friend every week. And I get to hear her fails, her successes every week and see how she's doing, as well as all the rest of the roles that we go through. It's so great to have like some supportive friends and friends that you just like hanging out with. So I think that's the number one thing for me. It's friends. Like it's friends make it better and make it worth coming back every single week for.
I mean, that's gotta be, it's so hard when you become older and you become an adult.
Yeah.
And life happens. And it's like, how do we fit hanging out with friends?
Yeah. And I think all three of us, the reason it works is because all three of us have made this a priority because we all love it so much. And if we didn't like it, this wouldn't be going on. But we love doing the podcast. We love the podcast that we created. We just all are very proud of it and we love every bit of it. So if you don't love what you create, then I mean, obviously it's going to die, but if you love it, you're going to keep nurturing it and try to make it better. So that's our little pod.
Oh. I get stuck because I have like so many things I want to say all at once. But what's the goal? Like, you're doing it now because it's fun, but like, are there other motivations? Do you have dreams down the road?
Yeah. So when we first in spite created this podcast, we were like, okay, not only are we going to create a podcast and not only is it going to be better, we, without our influential parents, are going to go to a convention and do a panel and be able to do this by ourselves. And 2020 was going to be that year, but obviously, 2020 was not that year.
Anybody's year.
So the goal is still there. The times it needs to get a little bit better, and then we can get out there and do it. But the amazing things like being on this stream, like, is one of the coolest things that like this podcast has opened up. Like being able to geek out with people like with you and meet like our other podcast friends, like it's the coolest. The community, man.
You said it. It's the community. It's like the friends you make along the way. Because I don't know for you, but before I started this, like, I liked Marvel, like you said, and I kind of liked some geeky stuff, but I didn't really lean into it, and I didn't have an outlet to really like talk about it in depth with people all the time. And this
some people get scared. They're like, okay, that's a bit much.
Prime example. Just saw Spider-Man. No spoilers, don't worry. And I took my wife because she likes Spider-Man, but she's been a little behind on the whole MCU because she doesn't watch all the rest. And I was trying to prep her for what she might see, and she's like, "It's a Spider-Man movie, dude. I'll figure it out." I'm like, "No. Like there's
don't get it.
There's so much." And then after the movie, I was trying to explain like all the moments we freaked out and why, and like I had so much that I wanted to explode. And I'm like, now you see why I need FGBG. Like these, I need people to do that with.
Yes. I feel that. And then with Spider-Man 2, since it just came out, you can't go online and be like, hey guys!
Yeah.
Because you don't want to ruin it for anyone else.
Right.
But maybe after this, we can both geek out over that, because I need someone to let go and let loose. Because none of my other podcast hosts have heard it and seen it yet. So I need you. I need you, Boser.
Thank you. Okay, don't go anywhere, because I haven't really let loose on anybody either, because I haven't seen it. It was seen it. Oh. Anyway, we were doing something on the internet or something. Casting podcast Unnatural 20's.
Oh
yeah. And just a reminder to the chat, if you haven't already, use command unnat20 and you can find all the links to their podcast so you can start to binge the shit out of it tomorrow. Why wait? How about tonight? And go ahead and follow them on all their socials. That's where I first found them, was on Instagram. And I just love... Oh, question. Who makes your podcast covers?
That's me.
Okay, do you mind if I share it? Can I share it?
Oh yeah, of course. Share your favorite, because there's some wild ones out there.
I'm gonna share the screen. Let's see. It's right here.
Our podcast gets a little wild, and sometimes some weird topics come up. So obviously, you got to make some art with these topics. And I'm no artiste. So
what do you talk? You're no artiste.
I'm no artiste. So I create with pictures, and I put our heads on different things because it's fun. Oh, look, there's Ty from Side Character Quest, obviously.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah. That's Ty.
How do I keep going? Okay.
Oh, there's us. Oh, there's us being cute. That's a normal one.
This is you.
That's me.
And this is...
Books.
Books, and this is...
That's Cassie.
Okay. So...
That's all three of us.
For people, they can have a better idea who they're listening to next time they tune in.
That's all of us.
All of you.
I'm killing you.
And you've never had other hosts, and you've never lost any hosts.
We did. We lost one. R.I.P. But it was at the very beginning.
4 in the beginning?
We had 4. There was Devontae as well. If you could scroll.
I forgot. You know what? Devontae really didn't have the energy that he wanted to be there in the first place.
No, he didn't. Bless his soul. But no, he decided it was not for him. So we hung out outside of the podcast instead.
How did you rope him into it in the first place?
We needed a 4th, and being 3 women, I said, which is stupid, I said, we need a guy on here because no one will listen to 3 women. And then when he left, I was like, we can do it without him. And I'm so glad I said that.
Good.
I can't, I'm like so mad at myself for ever being like, you can't do it, because no, we can do it.
Are you familiar with, Wine and Crime?
No. Wait, what? Wine and Crime?
Wine and Crime.
No, maybe.
They kind of remind me. I mean, they talk about true crime.
Oh, okay.
And sip wine. They're
yes.
3 friends who chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents. They're my wife's favorite podcast. One day they will be on my show.
Oh my god.
It's a little off our niche, but I don't care. We're gonna have them.
We're gonna talk about crime with you.
Hell yeah. Because I love that stuff too. I can't geek out about it as hard.
Yeah.
But they're 3 like lifelong friends. They're just 3 ladies. They've been friends forever, and they have the best time. And they started just because they wanted to have a good time. And so they remind me of you guys, actually.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a different show.
Yes. Yeah. That's Books, the curly haired one. Hers, the one who's over next to the computer, yes. she's all into true crime, and I'm sure she would love to do a true crime podcast, but I get scared of everything. So we used to have a role on our podcast, and we've gone away from it, and it was like conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and it got too scary for me. So I was like, we need to cut this role. Let's do a different role instead. I think we have like WUV in its place now.
Oh my god! So you don't do like haunted houses and?
Oh, I get so scared. I am a big old baby, and if like they start talking about something, I will take my headphones off, because I just can't. I can't handle scary things. Oh, there's me. It's a D20.
Is this the? Oh, this is the 3-year anniversary.
Yes, this was last year.
Oh, here's the Rip to Chonky Boy.
Oh, this is a compilation. Oh, there's my dog.
Mm-hmm.
There's Murdoch.
Aww.
He's our pod dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I carved FGBG to a pumpkin once, and it looked
Oh!
horrible.
I think I saw you do that. I think you did it the same year we did it.
I probably was inspired by you, per usual.
I think we literally did it the same year.
Wait!
That was you!
Wait! Oh my god! I still have that sticker, by the way. It's on my old laptop case. I have like all these great stickers, and yours is on it, and I refuse to throw it away.
I can give you a new one if you want.
You know, I might need a new one. Or is there a place I can buy it? Is there a merch store?
We have a merch store, yes. If you go to, I think if you just go to unnatural20s.com, you can go find our podcast page, and there's like merch on there. And
Ooh.
I'm actually not wearing any merch right now. I usually wear strictly merch, but they're all dirty.
Just every day?
Yeah, because they're really comfy, and I bought a lot of it.
Well, yeah, you bought it all.
We have like these Unnatural 20s sweatpants that are my favorite, and it says "Roll with us," and it said it's a podcast because everyone thinks we're a what's it called? Actual play podcast, but we're not.
Oh, like a D&D.
Yeah, they think we're an actual play D&D podcast, which makes sense because it's D20, and we do incorporate like D&D stuff. But yeah, I love my sweatpants. Let's say it's a podcast.
But question on that, because I find myself in a career of marketing at this point.
Yeah.
This isn't at all what I thought I would be doing in my life, but I love it, and so I think very marketing wise. So knowing that your logo is D20, how do you market what you do to reach people and kind of cut away those who expect you to be playing Dungeons and Dragons?
So we, for some reason in the beginning, because I have a marketing degree and so does Cassie.
Nice. Okay.
So when we were building out the podcast, the first thing we did was like look up like the name of the podcast that we were thinking of and see if it was available on everything and how it was like going and whatever, making sure we can get everything. Never once did it cross our mind that people would think we were an actual play podcast. So people come on, and if you read our reviews, it's like, I thought this was an actual play podcast. Kind of weird, but then I kind of liked it. And I was like, okay, sorry. Didn't mean to mislead you, but
catfishing all of your listeners. You're like, you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to end up here, but I like it.
I guess the answer is we don't know how to not get them here, but we hope they come anyways and they like it. If they don't, I'm sorry.
But is that a large, I don't know, energy? Is that of making sure like promoting it and marketing it in some way, or do you just kind of put it out there and whatever you get, you get?
Well, we used to play like with promotion, we do it mostly like we've been really bad at it recently, but on like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like we just interacting. We're also part of a network, so they help a lot with the like promoting and things like that, like cross promotion between podcasts. That's helped like a ton.
Okay.
So, and as for getting, D&D people, we used to play D&D like every week. So when we first started the podcast, obviously life has stopped that, but but it used to be a lot more central to the podcast, having D&D content. But now we just talk about fails, successes, and nerding out and going on adventures every once in a while. So.
And then sometimes there will be a different DM per episode.
Yes,
right?
we have DMs. Yes.
And then they will often kind of have a theme for the episode.
Yes.
And you kind of go on this little mini one-shot almost, or choose your own adventure.
Yes. Yeah.
And
so that's how
we points for creativity or negative points for bad answers. And that
or
kind of
scary things.
or scary things if you're the DM. And that kind of fills in the gaps between the questions. So there's always like every episode, you guys, is like a brand new. I don't know. It's like finding a new channel on the television that you didn't know you had, and it's like, oh, this isn't at all like what I was ready for. But like, this is a good time because honestly, you guys are so much fun.
Ah, thanks. Yeah,
I think I was telling you this before, that anybody else that rolls a die and answers questions, like, it would be maybe okay, but you three together, your energy and your hilarity is just so like and adorable, and you can just feel the friendship that I just want to hang out.
I think it's chaos.
It is.
It's chaos, but it's fun. Being chaotic
chaos.
It's very structured chaos, and we love it like that. And all three of us, I think, if we ever guest on anywhere, it's like, oh, there's not enough structure. It's like, what are you talking about structure? Your podcast is chaos. It's like, no, it's very structured. Also, we go wild and we just let loose, and all three of us getting together, it's like you're letting off a bomb in the chaos zone.
Are you guys able to get together in person, or virtually?
We used to do it in person, and then COVID hit and we started doing virtually, and now we can do it in person, but one of our roommates or Books now doesn't live with us anymore. So we do Cassie and I are always together, but Books is always remote now. So
okay, now,
we could
I have a question about
Books. Yes.
Because all the people on the show, Katelynn, Cassie, and Books.
Yes.
Was this like, because I know now we all know her name, like she's said it plenty of times, but why did it start with Books?
So we called her Books like before the podcast. Yeah, because she's super smart, and she was when we first moved in together, she was in grad school, and she was just like smart, and then I am not. And then Cassie also is not, or we're just like eccentric, and it's just like and she's like always the grounded smart person, so she's Books. And then there's Cassie and Katelynn.
Do you guys have nicknames on the like down low?
Well, Cassie always calls me Dougal or Doug or Doogie. You probably hear that on the podcast sometimes. Yeah. And then Cassie's just Cassie.
Oh, she hasn't heard a nickname. Or Cassie is just so fitting.
Yeah, it just fits so well. Or it's mean. It's like, oh, you're a casshole or something like that. Which that comes out a lot. You hear that every once in a while.
I'm stealing that. I know a few Casses in my life. I'm stealing that. You're a casshole.
You're a casshole. Yeah.
So as somebody as experienced as yourselves in podcasting 4 years later, which like we said at the beginning, most don't even reach half a year, barely. Mm-hmm. So the fact you've made it 4 years, you've learned a thing or two. Those who are just tuning in, like maybe what's like a real struggle of podcasting that maybe you didn't realize, or a challenge of podcasting that no one was ready for, but you've had to kind of get through?
Like a challenge that we faced?
Yeah, like what sucks about podcasting?
Oh, editing for me, but Cassie usually edits. But I am not like a huge editing fan. I get really distracted really easily. Yeah. And so editing is time consuming, and you want to get it right. So you do want to take the time, because ultimately what you put out there is what everyone's going to hear. And you want to make sure you cut down all the stuff that you don't want to hear, like background noise and everything. So having like a super listening ear, like I said, I get distracted. So I will miss things, but Cassie is so good at like hearing all the little things in the sound and like making it so clean and finding new software. So editing for me is like, I hate it. I do not like it, but she's really good at it.
You're hard at work on those graphics.
Oh, graphics are my faves. Right now, we haven't had some graphics recently because work got hard, but now they're going to make a return because I have a break coming up, so I will be hard at the graphics because they're just so fun to make. That's my favorite part.
And honestly, they just feel like they fit like the show.
The chaotic vibe.
They are chaotic. They are hilarious. They kind of look like you cut and paste some shit together and slapped it on a piece of construction paper.
Yes.
But that's like perfect for the show.
It's our brand.
It is. Sometimes I find, like, this was frustrating. I talked to somebody else about this, that, like, I'll take a clip from a Geek Out Sesh and I'll, like, really produce it. I'll make sure everything's there. I have subtitles. But for some reason, I feel like it looks too produced and people just scroll past. But then you just get, like, a shaky self-camera of something stupid and that'll blow up on the video, blow up on the internet. And it's not fair. It's like, why am I trying so hard?
Yeah. You know, I think that's the coolest thing I learned is, like, stop trying too hard. Just be yourself and, like, let yourself be wild as you are. And I think that's what's helped. But then there's times where it's like, okay, maybe rein it in just a tad bit and direct your chaos some good way. Directed chaos.
And you've done a good job of, like, you create boundaries with the D20 and the list.
Yes.
And so you can go crazy as long as you stay within those things. Just don't just like rant for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we do on our show.
Hey, but this is fun. This is fun. This is great.
As long as you're having fun, that's all I care about. And I hope that you guys are having fun in the chat. If you are enjoying, I encourage you, maybe hit that follow button, maybe hit that sub button. And if you want to support, we're just trying to create a little family of geeks here on the internet where we can geek out loud about anime, comics, Marvel, movies, DC, podcasts, content, streaming. Like we realize that you need a safe space to talk about these things at 3 a.m. when no one else is awake, and we want to be that place for you. So thanks for hanging out. I have more. But in a minute, we're going to be switching gears, and we're going to do our own little Unnatural 20's episode, and we're going to roll a D20, and we're going to answer some of the questions that you would typically answer on your podcast. So I can't wait. But last question.
Okay.
Other than just be yourself and don't try so hard. If somebody if somebody was watching from the audience of that WonderCon and they watched your inevitable podcast on the stage, what would you tell the past little Katelynns and the little Cassies and the little Books of advice for how to start a podcast?
Oh my God. If we had the dream of having our own panel, and let's say like it was bad or it was good, whatever it was. And if there's someone in the audience that's like, yeah, I want to do that too, do it. Figure it out. Ask questions. I think that was the biggest thing. We asked all of our friends so many questions. We found people to ask questions because we didn't know what we were doing. The internet has so many cool resources and so many great people. Like Boser, you would be great at asking, like, how do you start a Twitch channel? Like, someone can just ask you that question and you can give them some great pointers and tips. Asking questions, I think, is the best thing for anyone.
Shit advice from me, but I could.
No, you have a really well put together stream right now, and I want to know how it's done. So I'm going to ask you later, how exactly do you have this done? Because this is fantastic, and I love it.
We'll talk after.
Ask questions.
It's probably a lot underwhelming, you think.
But I mean, that's comforting for people to know because you get so intimidated. You see something and it's like so cool. And it's like, okay, how do I start? Start by asking questions. And then from there, you can get some answers and start from there making a budget because sometimes it's expensive.
A budget? What is that?
Right?
You mean this is going to cost us money and not bring in a dime?
Right?
But you do, I mean, tell me if this isn't something that you want to talk about. But I am curious. I've been doing this for 4 years, and like we've been doing this for 2.5, maybe going on 3. And I don't know. I'm ready for some money to come into the channel. You know, like you just give so much time and energy and your own dollars. Like, it'd be nice if something came back out of it. Like, is this like an income stream for you guys?
We in the beginning, we were like, oh yeah, this is going to be an income stream. And then you have to put in so much time and effort. And there was only 4 or 3 of us. And you can only do so much. Plus working.
Right.
Also.
You have a life.
So we were like, okay, this is going to be like a side hustle kind of thing. So we have our Patreon, which we're lucky to have some people on Patreon who have been on there for a while and who have been contributing. So that's super helpful. But obviously it pays like the hosting fees and not everything else. Because the equipment is expensive, but I mean, if you enjoy it, you make it happen. Like take up other side hustles that will actually create an income.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think everyone will feel your passion because it's cool. And tech.
Yeah. Because if we didn't love doing this, like, we would have stopped.
Yeah.
Like, this just takes too much time and effort. But
yeah. It's a lot of effort, but I mean, it's so rewarding when you can put it out there and just have something that you created out in the world.
Yeah. And it's like your baby. Because I work for, Alec, we're going to get to your suggestion in this hot sec. He wants me to tell you what we did for some new studio lights. Mm-hmm. But in my world, I work in the theater. I work for a nonprofit theater company. And I love being a piece of this product. And like we all pitch in and we make this thing in the end. But at the end, I mean, it's not really like my vision, you know, it's just a piece of it. And I get to direct, you know, a good chunk of it. But with this, like, this is exactly what I want it to be. And only what I want it to be and whatever I make it. So when it fails, it's all on me. And our little people, our little group of people, they're not little people. They're normal sized people. Normal. God, it's so insensitive. Jesus.
They're not ant size.
They're not. But it's like it's your thing. You get to put your stamp on it. And it's all your stamp.
Yeah. And I think that's the coolest thing. Like even with work, when I get to do, because I also work for a nonprofit. And really? when you get to do something that's like big or like anything where you have a part in it and it's like, I did that. I made that. I did this cool thing and it's all mine. It's fun. Even if it's bad, it's like, yeah, I did that.
And I was going back and watching old videos today and I even put it on our story. I was like, does anybody else look back at old videos and still like 100% enjoy them? Or is that just me? Because I felt like, I don't know, kind of egotistical or just like naive.
No,
that I'm still cracking up at jokes that I made 4 years ago.
You posted that and I felt that so deeply in my soul. I never smashed the yes, me too. I'm just like you. I've never smashed something so hard in my life, Boser. God, it was like, it hit me. Because I go back and I scroll through the Unnatural 20's feed and be like, oh man, yeah, I remember when I created that. I could have done this or this better. And it's like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Who said that? Oh, it was me.
All the time. I'm like, who said that? I'm like, oh, I'm a funny guy.
Oh.
Yeah, Alec likes the old FGBG vids. And I saw earlier, Alec, you mentioned that you missed the skits. And honestly, I was watching some and I missed them too. They were fun to make and they cracked me up.
There was some where you guys would like eat some crazy things. And I would look at those and I'm like, oh my God, your stomachs later.
And you're lucky because now we just do it live on stream with my guests.
Oh,
I think we did it a couple weeks ago. Oh, with Jake from New Crits on the Block, which is a play,
an actual play podcast.
Yeah, that's what it's called, actual play podcast. And so I can't remember why we rolled a dice and we put some shit in a glass and we drank it and we about threw up.
I watched that.
You made it through.
Yeah.
But Kim says you need chaos to give birth to a dancing star.
Yes.
That's some poetry right there.
That's also Tiny Diamond's birth.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to watch Trolls 2.
I do. I love Trolls 1. I really did love Trolls 1.
I truly was it was the beginning of the pandemic when Trolls 2 came out, and I paid $20 to watch Trolls 2. There was nothing going on. I was like, I only have a part-time job right now. Please, anything. And it was so good.
This is worth it. Take my money.
It was worth all $20.
Okay, Alec, real quick. So when we started out, we needed new lights to make videos, and they were about $100 for two. And so we put it out there. We're like, hey, we're raising $100, and Alec ponied up the $100, but only if I gave myself a swirly.
Did you do it?
Hell yeah, I dunked my head in the toilet so fast.
Do you have a video of this? How come I've never seen this?
It happened during some live stream, I think. I think it was like an Instagram live. Help me out, Alec. Oh, here you go. He's got the clip just already ready.
Oh,
So there you go. That's me dunking my head in the toilet for $100.
Oh, how was it? How can you tell us about that experience? Because for people who weren't there, like for me, please tell me.
Picture this.
I'm so curious, please.
You're on stream with your friends, and there is a generous minor in your chat. I swear he's not going to pay his college book bills because he just donates too much to us. It was on a really busy stream of D&D, and I said I jumped to it. It actually took me a year to do it because I was like, I don't know how to do it. And then live, I think on the chat, he finally said that he'd do it. And so I think I took my phone and I handed it to my wife, and I was like, honey, don't ask questions. Here. Oh no, I took my whole laptop because my camera, I was using my like FaceTime on my laptop. I was like, honey, hold this. Don't ask questions. I'll explain later. And I dunked my head in. It was cold. And I was wondering, when did I last clean this toilet?
Oh no.
Luckily, I had just cleaned it like the day or two before.
Oh, good.
Thankfully. And your wife, she brought me a towel because she's a champ.
Oh. Can we just give a shout out for your wife who just held the computer, was like, yeah, he's doing it. He's putting his head in the toilet.
She deserves so many shout outs.
She sounds cool.
She is, and you know why? Because her name is also Katelynn.
What? That's such a good name.
She spells it a little different, but...
Yeah, I spell mine weird. I spell mine very long and weird.
That is not her handle. So go check out Boser's wife. She does not have a Twitch.
She has a name.
It is Katelynn.
It is Katelynn.
Okay, but I'm ready to play a game. How about you?
Yes.
Hell yeah. If you're just joining us, we are with Katelynn from Unnatural 20's, and we're about to do kind of a faux version of what they do on their show every week. So, Katelynn, walk us through how's this work? What do we do?
Okay, so every week we get our D20. So I have.
Okay.
I'm gonna show them to you. We got our big chunky boy.
Okay.
Got my metal dice right here.
Oof, noisy.
We got this just standard good old pink dice.
Okay.
And then we got this tiny boy.
Ooh.
So
so
if you've
small.
ever listened to the podcast, I do refer to them by these names. So now you know what they look like.
I finally met my fans.
Yes. I love my dice so much. I have very good connections with all of them, and I feel like I know how all of them roll because I rolled with them for 4 years, almost all of them. So we get our die. You have to choose one. That's the hardest part. Once you choose your die, we roll it, and we see what it rolls.
Okay.
So I'll roll one right now.
Okay.
Okay. And it looks like we rolled a 3, and 3 is Nerd Out Update. So when I say 3 is Nerd Out Update, we have an adventure log. So we go off our 20 talking points, which is our adventure log. Okay. And I look to see what number 3 is because we roll a 3, and that's Nerd Out Update. So, Boser, I need to tell you, you need to tell me, what are you nerding out about? What's something that is really cool going on? Something like Spider-Man? I don't know. What are you nerding out about? Inside,
I'm nerding out really hard about Spider-Man, but I will not do that to anybody that hasn't yet seen it.
Yeah.
So instead, I'm going to nerd out about my next favorite show, 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh!
So good and so terrible. And this is what my wife and I are watching any chance we get, because it's these couples, if you're not familiar, it's these couples who are bringing their fiancés over on a K-1 visa, and they have 90 days in the States to get married. Otherwise, they have to go home. And some are there for love, some are there for the green card, and all of them have god-awful relationships. And it's just hilarity ensues, drama ensues, and none of it affects us. We get to watch from our tower on high from a successful marriage and be like, wow, aren't you glad that's not us?
Oh, God. I love those shows. I watch like The Bachelor and all those.
Oh, hell yeah.
Batch Nation. I am here and I love it. And all those shows, because, man, it is great because it's like, this is chaos. I would hate if that were me, but I do love watching this. Let me see more chaos.
What, we get the finale tomorrow for Bachelor, right?
I know!
3-hour finale.
It's not till Wednesday for me because I watch on Hulu.
Oh God. Okay, I won't tweet it out then. I won't spoil it for you.
Don't ruin it for me. But Spider-Man, please tell me more.
God, after.
Yes, afterwards.
What are you nerding out about?
But nerding out, I would say Spider-Man, but I'm not going to say Spider-Man. But I'm nerding out about cosplaying actually. So I'm putting together a new cosplay currently, and I am like figuring out how to use foam and stuff. I've never worked with foam.
Okay.
So I'm like researching all these new techniques and stuff because I've done Squirrel Girl and I've sewn like my own pants and like tail and stuff.
Great Squirrel Girl.
Thank you. But I am trying a new one. So I am working with some new materials and trying to figure things out. I love crafting, but I'm also not the best at it. So I'm nerding out about finding new techniques and learning how to cosplay good.
Can you share what you're building, or is it a secret?
So it's actually a secret because I'm gonna wear it for my wedding.
You're gonna cosplay your wedding?
Yes.
My God, I'm showing your Squirrel Girl. This is not what you're doing, but I need everyone to see how good this is. This is like so accurate.
That's my Squirrel Girl, which she's getting an upgrade because that jacket, if you can't tell, is a broken.
I just thought that's where all the squirrels latched on. I thought it was like
It
was extra.
So many squirrels latched on that it broke apart right after this photo.
Oh Jesus! But that's a great photo.
I got the photos, so that was all that's mattered. But yeah, I know I love cosplaying Squirrel Girl, but I have a new one in the books, or hopefully will be done in the next couple months. So I'm really excited to do some more cosplay.
Well, when's your wedding?
Nerding out about them.
Or how far away is your wedding?
It's in April. So.
Okay, so yeah, you got about 5 months.
Yep, 4 months, almost a little bit more than 100 days. So.
Yeah.
Not yet 90-day fiance status. So.
There you go. You have 100 days. 100-day fiance. Well, I can't wait, and I'll be watching for pictures.
Yes.
That's amazing. Is he gonna cosplay too?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We met at Comic-Con, so.
That's so cute. WonderCon?
San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. She lives right next to San Diego Comic-Con. Gets to go all the time. Meanwhile, that's my dream in Indiana.
Oh. Well, I want to go to New York Comic-Con sometime, so.
Oh, I've never been there either. Couple Screen says congrats and condolences.
Thank you.
Okay, new
April
role?
18th? No, not April 18th.
Oh, that's his birthday.
Oh, happy early birthday, Alec.
And that's when Alec will actually have his own Geek Out Sesh right here on his birthday. It's on a Monday.
What? That's great. Okay,
so
well,
excited.
I'll have to come back because I don't have any plans for that day yet. Okay, let's roll again. This time we're gonna roll our metal dice right here.
Ooh, okay.
And we rolled an 18 actually. What do you love? What is something that you love, Boser? And Alec, we know that you love Boser, okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, anybody that knows me knows that I love my bulldog Harper.
Oh.
She's
okay.
I'm wondering
how old is she? Is she here?
She's upstairs.
Okay.
She can't do the stairs right now because she got ACL surgery.
Oh.
She tore her ACL. So she's had to like take it easy for 6 weeks.
Oh.
Get a dog to take it easy for 6 weeks.
That's impossible.
And so the first 2 weeks she was in a cone, and she's supposed to be like on a leash all the time, but we just don't have it in us to keep her on a leash. So we just like make sure she doesn't run and play. I'm going to try to pan something around. I don't know. Many people haven't seen this, and it's kind of dark. I'll shine this light on it, but I'm going to turn the camera and see if I'm going to show you what I have in my basement at all times.
Oh my God! Look at!
That is a 10 by 10 foot vinyl of my dog.
Boser, I just want to let you know we are best friends because I feel like I need something like this in my life because I am also a dog mom and I am a crazy dog mom and I would love that in my life. Oh,
I just love
wow.
seeing her.
Can I ask how? Why? How and why?
It's actually a funny story because, like I said, I work in the theater.
Yes.
And I'm gonna pan it around, and it's probably gonna fall. And so we were doing a production of Bye Bye Birdie. And if you're familiar with Bye Bye Birdie at all, there is a character that really loves their dog. Mm-hmm. And so in the office, we needed to have a painting of the dog, but it's this massive stage, so that painting had to be 10 feet by 10 feet. Oh, and it was huge. It took up like a huge section of the stage. And so then when we were done, like, the theater didn't have a use for it, so I got to bring it home, and now it hangs there forever.
Oh, that is amazing. God, that is the fact that you got it. I'm pretty sure they paid for it too, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
I designed it, and then I had them pay for it, and now it lives here.
So jealous, so beyond jealous. So, okay, so your Wub is your dog. I have to continue on this vein because the Wub is my dog as well. Because I have two beautiful boys, Nelson and Murdoch, named after Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and Foggy Nelson.
Of course!
His other accountant in crime, I guess. Avocados at law. So yeah, Nelson and Murdoch are my two boys, and I love them very, very much. And I always love them. And I am, yes, there they are. There's my boys.
There they are. This is Murdoch. This is Nelson.
Nelson, he looks so grumpy in that picture.
Yeah.
He did not want to take that picture. I remember that. But yeah, these are my boys that I subject to lots of photos because they have their own Instagram account, and I just love them so much. Yeah, bad boys at law is what they are. Oh,
wrong one.
Oh, sorry. That's where I got the Nelson from. But yeah, there's bad boys at law. These are my boys.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
I love just taking pictures of my dogs and putting them out there, and then making a whole nother community of like dog moms that are crazy about their dogs. Because, man, these boys are so cute. Look at them.
Aww. Oh, and then this is some cosplay and dogs and this handsome man.
Yes, that's my fiance right there. And then there's Cassie, and then our dogs, Nelson and Murdoch, who are two little Pokemon.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I did not know. I'm following this.
Oh, yes.
Did not know your dogs had their own account.
Welcome! Yeah, to the dog fam. Yeah, if your dog has an account, I will follow them because I can follow a lot of dogs.
The only reason Harper doesn't have an account, honestly, is because my wife has a few accounts she has to run. I have a few accounts I have to run. And people already think that we're those crazy people. Mm-hmm. So we just have to draw the line somewhere. Otherwise, it's a rabbit hole that we're not ready to fall down.
I'm so bad at drawing lines. I manage too many Instagram accounts. At one point, I think I was managing 7 Instagram accounts.
Oh my God. How?
For work too, because I do work's Instagram and then my own personal ones, and then my dogs and the podcast. And
yeah, I do 3 tops.
3. Oh, yeah, I normally would just have 5. Right now I have 4 that I manage.
5. Oh my God. I did have 4 once when I was also part of a country cover band.
Oh,
I managed their account, but I did a shitty job of managing it, honestly.
It's hard when you manage like 5 accounts at once.
You can't give any of like the attention that they actually need to grow.
Yeah. But it also is fun because it's like, I feel like posting on the dog's account today. No dog Charizard. Okay, so someone asked about the dog Charizard. We wanted to do a Charizard for the boy, but we couldn't find a sweater for him that was orange. All of these sweaters that came in were yellow that we ordered online. So we ended up, one of the dogs we went with was Pikachu and used the yellow sweater, who was going to be Charizard. So
oh God.
That is a sad moment. Alec, thank you for pointing that out.
And Alex, he said, I still need to message someone's wife about dog art, which might be something maybe you need, because someone's wife paints dog art.
I would pull them over here right now, but they're in our living room. We have 2 painted pictures of our boys, actually.
Oh, of course you do.
Our friend she draws, so she drew it, and then we had like a paint night, and we painted them.
Oh, that's so fun.
It's a lot of fun. Yep. Dog moms unite.
Oh, stick together.
Yes.
All right, here's with another roll.
Okay, why don't we do that now? All right, we rolled a 10, which is actually follower questions. So what that means is we need the help of the audience. We need you to give us a question to let us know what we're going to be talking about. So if you have a question about our podcast, the stream, dogs, Spider-Man spoilers, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Marvel, our love of anything, cosplay, because I know Boser does some awesome cosplay as well.
I only have a couple.
But they're legit. You won a huge cosplay contest.
Okay, it wasn't huge. It was I won it once at a bar.
Yeah.
And then I won some other. It was like a creative cosplay award at our local con on its first year, and it was this big.
Okay, don't tell me that because it looks really big. I saw it. It was super impressed.
I mean, I am proud of that. It was a Charizard for you, Alec. It was steampunk Charizard.
What was the one where you did a Critical Role cosplay?
Oh, that was Caduceus. Play, but based off of this fan art. I can't remember the artist's name. That's terrible, but it was almost like this ninja kind of samurai more of a look.
Yeah.
And I just loved this art, and so I wanted to. And Kim, if she's still in the chat, she actually helped with the staff.
What?
She got this huge. Oh my god, what's the crystal called?
Crystal.
No, the pink one.
Oh, I don't know.
A pink crystal. It's like a really common name. Anyway, but she made the staff. She had this cute. It was cool. I still have the staff. I just took the crystal out so I can keep it with me.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, I saw your cosplay and I was like, that is so legit. Like, you did so good on all that. So.
Well, thanks. When you don't cosplay that often, then you can devote a lot of time to the one.
Yeah.
Which is all I really have for.
I think
no questions.
We do have a question.
Oh, we do?
From Alec.
Okay.
He says, I want to know what are your favorite things about the other.
Sorry, I missed it.
The other what?
I think the other person.
Oh,
I get to say my favorite thing about you.
Oh, no.
What to choose?
Oh, man.
And I do mean that honestly, because like I said, from the first time I listened, you kind of stood out. Like, I understood, like, books became kind of the reserved one. Cassie seemed like she had a good head on her shoulders. She kind of knows direction to go. And I don't identify with either of those things. But then there was a third person that had no idea what was going to come out of her mouth next, but she was just here for it. And I said, that's somebody I can relate with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if I can say that's my favorite thing about you, because that sounds conceited. Like, it's the most like me. But it's something that I really do appreciate, and it's the thing that drew me first to you and caught my attention. And from that first episode, I was like, man, it would be so much fun to hang out with all three of them, but particularly Katelynn someday, because I think we'd get along great.
Yeah. Well, I think it's working. I think we are getting along great. So, well, thank you. That you like the chaos, I guess, that I bring. The unpredictability. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun too. Some people don't always follow where I'm going, which is fine. It makes it more fun for people who don't understand, because then I have to explain. Which is always great. But Boser, one thing I really like about you is you are really great. You always are so humble. Like you said with the stream, like, oh, it's nothing. It's super easy. Oh, yeah, you could. No, I couldn't. I haven't. You're so humble and great at all these kind of things. Also, your cosplaying, you just said you like, oh, it's nothing. No, it was not nothing. It was incredible. So I really enjoy your humbleness, and you're really great at a lot of things. And I think you need to know that you're good at so many things.
Wow, Alec, thank you for creating this moment of, like, I feel so gassed up. We're hot
Now
shit, man.
Now we have to say a bad thing about each other.
I've been waiting to say this all goddamn night. If you don't... I got nothing.
It's the back. It's the back of your head. I haven't seen it, and I hate it.
Oh, this is a common one for most people. My eyebrows, or lack thereof. Like, for some reason, my eyebrows, like, just went away in my mid-20s.
Man.
I don't know where they went.
I have a lot of family members where that has happened to as well. So, you know, it happens. It's life, man.
But I'm using this serum. It's, like, helping them
grow
back. It
yeah?
really is, yeah.
It helps, and it's good.
Yeah. I just forget to reorder it, and so it does well for a while, and then I drop it.
Consistency is hard, man.
Yeah, it is.
Get a Sharpie.
I think we have time for one more question, or one more dice roll.
All right, I'm rolling just the regular dice this time.
Okay. Is this pinky?
All right. Yeah, just a regular pink one, and we rolled a 17, which is change the ending. So, is there anything that you've watched recently, like a TV show, like read a book, or seen a movie, and you're like, you know what? I would have appreciated if the ending was a little bit different for any reason or another. Like, maybe you wanted someone to get together with someone else. Maybe you wanted there to be more chaos. Maybe you wanted something to explode or not to work out. Can you think of anything that you'd want to change the ending to?
Shit, for some reason, I forgot this was on your list. You sent me all the questions ahead of time just in case we landed on them. And I was supposed to prep, and that was the one. Because I'm so bad at this. We have, on our D&D stream, we have T, who's our DM, but he has an entire podcast on his own called Film Forge.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really great at picking movies apart and deciding like where they went wrong, what they should have been, and I'm not.
Okay, I'll start. I can start.
Yeah.
Okay. So in The Bachelor, on The Bachelorette, the TV show, they get to go do some really cool things, you know? And I'm trying to think, where were they? Oh my God. So can I give spoilers for The Bachelorette? Is that okay? I feel like this is a safe space. This is a nerd out. Like,
fine.
I think it's okay.
I'm not sure anybody here is chomping at the bit for Bachelor.
Okay. So last week in The Bachelorette, we let go of one of my favorite people, and his name was Joe. And Joe was just a quiet dude who was just really nice and down to earth. And I really liked Joe. So I would like to change the ending and not only save Joe, but I would like to get rid of one of the guys named Nate. I do not like Nate, and I think he's bad. And I would like to get rid of him. And I also would like to interject and put myself into the Bachelorette life and only steal all of their cool vacations that they go on, because I would like a vacation right now. So that would be my change the ending. Take out Nate, put in Joe, put in me, just to have fun. And there we go. My changed ending.
But then you would have to date like those 30 guys.
No, because that's what the Bachelorette. I'm not there to be the Bachelorette. I'm just there to be there.
Oh, so you're the one that doesn't come for love, and everyone's gonna talk shit about you.
Maybe I'm with the producers. Like, maybe I'm just like helping out, but I'm there. I'm getting to travel and have fun. And so, yeah.
So it's like a work vacation all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Then I'm going to bring this home a little bit. Recently, I was in a production of Addams Family, the musical.
Okay.
And the ending is kind of weird. Like, for those who don't know, it's the Addams Family, but Wednesday, she meets a normal boy, and he's like having this adverse effect on her, and she's becoming normal and wants to go to Disneyland and likes puppies all of a sudden, and she's like happy, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't know this is weird. And so the parents come with him to dinner, and they're going to tell everyone they're getting married, and it's like this big to-do. But in the musical, I don't know, I feel like they missed the boat on a lot of the classic Addams Family tropes. Like, things written in the script are as jokes would be things that in like the movies or the old television show that would be things they would say completely straightforward, like not jokes at all. They're just like, there's a joke of a girl says, do you have a little girl's room? And Gomez says, we used to, but we let them all go. Like, that's hilarious. But in the script, it's like written as a joke. And even he says like, hey, got good one. It's like, this isn't the Addams Family. Like, what have you done? Yeah, you've bastardized the Addams family. And then with like Fester flying off to the moon, but I think someone should die at the end. No one dies.
Yes! See, okay, Boser, you have hit my favorite part of this role, which is change the ending. I love when you just murder. Like, because why not? There's no consequences. Let's murder someone at some point. Okay, can I do another change the ending?
Yes.
Okay, I watched the movie Eternals. It was eternally painful to watch the movie Eternals.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Oh God. Okay, so I would love to change the whole movie and make it like not exist. But
were you like a fan of the Eternals previously? Like, do you know their stories? Because I did not.
I didn't either. I had a friend who did and was like bored.
Even more horrified?
It was 5 people and 2 people fell asleep.
Oh God.
in the theater.
Jeez.
So this is a PSA. Don't see Eternals. It's garbage, and you don't need it for Spider-Man.
You
but you don't. So my change the ending would be for Eternals, and I would like to have. There is an after credit scene that actually like, blew my mind. Not because of what happened, but because who was in the scene. And I was like, whoa! And that was the only time I went, whoa, this whole movie. So what I would like to have done is condense the whole movie into 10 minutes. And then have that after credit scene just play. And that way I would have had an enjoyable experience and been like, oh my God, did you hear this happened? So yeah, that would be my change to ending is to change Eternals.
I can respect that. I mean, I didn't know what I was watching. I had no idea. I had no context.
They like threw an encyclopedia at your head and were like, ingest it. And we were like, I can't. I don't know osmosis, man.
Amethysts.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
I knew it. I've said that on a regular, like I keep it in my office and I touch it, I hold it, I talk about it. Could not think of it. Amethyst.
I was going to say the purple one, so I got close, right?
It is kind of purpley pinkish. It's solid. Yeah. It's like as big as your fist.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome.
Heavy.
But I have to cleanse it, I think.
You got to bury it, I think, in the full moon, right?
Yeah, or with water. I don't know.
I don't either. There's a lot of rules.
There's so many rules.
I have rocks, but I don't know how to properly charge them.
With electricity or something. Wrong channel. If you're here for that kind of content, so sorry. It's not going to be accurate or entertaining because we have no idea what we're talking about.
I'm going to bury all my rocks and feel better.
But if you are here for 3 best friends who are letting the roll of a die dictate the rest of the show with a list of fun questions, and every episode's unique. It's got different themes, and it's always hilarious. Then tune into the Unnatural 20's. Do you have like a schedule? When does each episode air?
Oh, every Monday. So we had with the holidays, we missed 2 weeks ago. We missed 2 weeks ago. But every Monday, we barely ever miss episodes. I think in our 210 episode run, we have missed 4 total. So 4 years, 4 episodes missed. Sorry. But yeah, yep, every Monday, check us out.
That's very incredible. And I hope that you really do feel good about what you've created, the community that you've created, and just the fact that you have stuck to the schedule and made this content. And it's great. And I need more people to know about it, which is like one of the biggest reasons I wanted to have you on, because I don't think enough people know about your show, and I want them to.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And honestly, I love being on this stream, and Boser, you're so cool. Like I can't wait to have an opportunity to geek out with you again because you're awesome. And I always, you have said like in the past, like all these super nice things. And I just want to let you know, like I hear them and we talk about them all the time. We're like, he said this and it made me feel good. And about this, our baby podcast, he said all these great things. So we really appreciate you, and I appreciate you, and you're amazing too.
Thanks, Katelynn. Aw, we're going to have to end on that high note because now we're just like leaving feeling in love. What do I love? Unnatural 20's and Cassie and books and Katelynn. There you go. Oh my God, I have a picture of me with that exact same post. Like, stop being me.
Is the bigger one easier?
Oh,
no.
Yeah. No? I would have thought it would be, actually.
I guess I don't have deep enough eye holes.
You need deep set eyes and beady little holes like I do. But all of you who joined us tonight, thank you so much for geeking out with us on this Monday Night Geek Out Sesh with Katelynn from the Unnatural 20's. If you enjoyed tonight, go ahead and hit that follow button and maybe hit that sub, because we do this every Monday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard. And we also, every Wednesday, Moose goes live about 8:30, and he plays games, and sometimes they involve you. Sometimes it's just a great time to hang out and chat. And then Thursdays is our ongoing D&D stream. And we are very excited because while we're going to take the next couple weeks off for the holidays, on January 2nd, that is a Sunday. It's a different day than we would normally have. We are going to live stream for 12 straight hours. And we're going to finish our D&D campaign, the Kingdom Come, that's been 2 years in the making. We're going to begin the next campaign, Beyond the Edge of Kingdom Come, and probably just like hang out and be ridiculous. And I'm going to do it all while wearing an Uwu maid costume, because that's what you decided, chat, a long time ago when we asked for your help to help us reach 250 followers, and you hit it. And so that's what you wanted. That's what I'll be in. And I think Moose has one too. And maybe we'll get some more for the rest. Do you have some big plans for Christmas? Are you excited for the holidays? We didn't even talk about Christmas. Like
I know.
Saturday.
Yeah. Man.
Not ready.
Don't have anyone's gifts. Oops.
We got days.
Shopping, and then Christmas, hanging out with family, and my birthday's coming up. It's 2 days after Christmas, so getting pumped for that. Yeah.
Oh my good friends' birthday is 2 days after Christmas.
No way!
He's the one that I ruined the surprise for.
Oh!
Wow! See, I knew I liked you even more.
Well, yeah, I'm super stoked. Do you have any plans?
Same, just with family. My sister's coming to town with her kids and her husband, and we're just gonna hang out with them, and then Katelyn's side, and it's just chill. It's just a nice time to just shut down and not have to worry about anything. But we hope that you guys have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will see you on the other side, January 2nd, and then we have some big exciting things for the rest of the new year. And do you know how we end the stream, Katelynn, once we get our raid going?
No.
So while someone suggests a raid, unless do you have somebody that you know on Twitch that you'd like us to raid? No. That's okay. And anybody in the chat have any suggestions for the raid? Otherwise,
I don't know anyone who's streaming today, but
let me see. Let me go. Let me go back over here.
Usually the Scavengers Network does. That's our network.
Ooh, I do love magic cards. I'm gonna copy and paste this. We're gonna raid the Nerdy Rock Star.
Ooh.
So let me go here. But so here's how we end. I'm going to say, as always, I am Boser, and then I'm going to point to you, and you're going to say your name, and I'm going to say, and you just keep, do you know what we say?
Geeking out?
Oh, yeah! You're so honest. See, you know how we go. You know how we go. Let's get this raid going. Raid, oh God. The Nerdy Rock Star. Full disclosure, I'm about to pee my pants. I have to pee so bad.
I gotta pee too.
Oh, good. So when this ends, we're going to both go pee, but we'll come right back and we'll talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay, where is it? Where is it? Did it work? Work, dang it. Okay, there it goes. All right, we got 8 seconds. Katelynn, this has been a pleasure. You are as wonderful as I thought you were on your podcast. Thank you for joining me on this Monday Night Geek Out Sesh. But as always, I am Boser.
And I'm Katelynn.
And you just keep
geeking out.
Good night. And we are clear.
Oh, I'm gonna go run.
Okay, yeah, go pee. God.